Today, I'm talking about 10 controversial financial tips for a secure retirement. Has there ever been a financial planner that hasn't said, diversify? Of course not, because it's risky to put all your eggs in one basket. Most advise against putting all your assets into stocks, bonds, CDs, etc. There's just one problem. This diversification focus is strictly in connection with financial assets and specifically only pertains to assets in the United States. So if anything really bad happens in the United States financial system, say like it did in 2008, that cautious diversification plan may not protect you. Now I might upset the apple cart a little bit, but my goal is to help you think about what your financial planner isn't talking about to create a secure retirement. This isn't advice, of course, it's only some possibilities for you to consider. Secure is an acronym, but of course it only has 6 letters, and since I'm sharing 10 tips, some of the letters are going to have more than one tip. Okay, let's go. So S is a favorite, and we're talking multiple income streams. I have talked about why this is important before, but before I get into that, let me explain. There's really no guarantees in our world today. Can you feel that? Everything's in flux because there's so much change, and we're talking drastic change. Now, if you're like me and you thrive on change, maybe that's not such a big deal to you. But most people aren't hardwired for change. In fact, as humans, we're actually wired for sameness. That sounds like an interesting video topic, doesn't it? Anyway, as I explain in this video about what happened to us after the 2008 financial crash, it was having multiple streams of income that really saved us. And I believe there's more opportunity to leverage this strategy now than at any other time in history. I think you've been misled and lied to about how much power you really have. Okay, my next tip also starts with S, and that is obtaining a second passport or residency, which is really just one part of a solid plan B. But there's many reasons why this is a super smart strategy, and I'll explain that in another video. But in short, it's insurance that you always have a place to go should something happen in your home country. Now, I'm not going to go into why that's important here. You're smart. You probably have some ideas about, what I'm talking about. But let's move on to the other E. Oh, and I do have a bunch of E's, which is really good because there's 2 E's in the word secure, right? So we'll save the juiciest ones till the end. So be sure you stick around until the end of the video. All right. So do you think maybe one of the richest men in the world might be a good guy to listen to when it comes to financial advice? I'm thinking yes. Warren Buffett says there's one investment that is by far the very best investment you can make. And it's not what you think it is, but going all in on this strategy yields huge returns. Warren Buffett is undoubtedly one of the greatest investors of our generation, and he's followed by millions who've learned that making smart investment decisions leads to long-term success. So what asset does he say you should be investing in the most? In a 2019 interview with Yahoo Finance, Buffett said, by far, the best investment you can make is in yourself. He went on to say that investing in your communication skills, in particular, your writing and in person, can increase your value by at least 50%. So E stands for education. So bravo for being here with me and learning. Warren Buffett understands that to make the most of this investment, you really should embrace lifelong learning. And we're not talking more degrees and certifications, although those can be useful as well. It's really about continuing to gain knowledge, especially to never stop learning how to be a better person, not just improving your financial literacy. So there's much more wise advice from the Oracle of Omaha, so stick with me till the end because the last E is one you don't want to miss. Okay, C stands for two related but different tips. The first one is cash, and I mean physical cash. It's best to have a safe in your house and hold at least 1 month's worth of living expenses in physical cash. It's also really smart to hold some precious metals such as silver or gold. And this is key. Tell no one. Loose lips sink ships. Don't set yourself up for a break-in by talking about how much you have in your house. In the event of a natural disaster, a power outage, a banking system failure, having cash on hand ensures that you can still access essential goods and services when the electronic payment systems may not be available. I know there's a lot of Bitcoin fans out there, but what happens if you can't access your electronic wallet? Having immediate access to your funds without relying on ATMs or banking systems or any electronics that may be inaccessible during emergencies is pretty smart. The second C word is cash flow. In another video, I mentioned my Escape to Paradise Wealth Blueprint, which is also an acronym, and I explained in that ES. In this one, it's the C we're focusing on, and that's cash flow in my escape plan. What does that mean? If you haven't noticed, the financial services industry is obsessed with the size of your nest egg. It's too small, right? That's what you keep hearing. I explained in this video what financial planners won't tell you. Few people, even high-income earners, have anywhere close to the sum that experts say you have to be able to retire comfortably in the United States. Instead, I say focus on your monthly cash flow. The question is, how much money do you need to support the lifestyle you desire? Then go create the cash flow to support it. Because the A in my escape plan stands for abundance of assets. And your assets include so much more than the few that get discussed with your financial planner. I don't believe in scarcity, and neither should you. We rebuilt our lives from scratch in 2008 and created an incredible lifestyle we could never have imagined back then. So don't buy into the fear narrative driven and being sold by the financial services industries. There's so many ways you could create new income streams. Remember, that was the S in secure that we started with. Alrighty, let's move on to U, which stands for understand aging. This is super important. Get this. In 1860, life expectancy was 40. Now it's 80 and projected to be 85 by 2050. There's an exponentially growing number of us living to age 100. This dramatic lengthening of our lifetime is a beautiful gift. And midlife and retirement today is drastically different from what our parents and grandparents experienced. Retirement is being completely redefined. It's not the beginning of the end, or is it a mere continuation of the life you had before? Sure, there might be a short period of rest and relaxation, but most people want more. In fact, retirees today see retirement as the next chapter in their life, their next adventure. But nobody hands us a manual to guide us through this challenging period of life, nor do we get any sort of rite of passage or initiation. We're on our own to keep growing and learning to be able to thrive in these times of constant and rapid change. If you're like me, you don't want to just live longer. You want to live a longer, happier, healthier life as a contributing member of society with the freedom to make your own choices and chart a course toward your desired future. And research shows that older people who have a positive mindset about aging, who feel worthy and happy and hopeful as they get older, live 7.5 years longer than those who have a negative perspective about aging. In short, when it comes to living longer, your mindset matters. You get to choose what your long life looks like. Okay, on to the letter R. These are two controversial tips that I'll mention but not go into as deeply as to not freak anyone out. If you're open, great. If not, just let them go on by. But one option is to do what we've done, and that is retire abroad. Now, moving to a foreign country with a lower cost of living can stretch your retirement income and savings. If you want to learn more, check out my book, Claim Your Dream Life: How to Retire in Paradise on a Shoestring Budget, which is linked in the description. However, this choice is not for the faint of heart, as it involves adapting to a new culture and potential language barriers. R stands for investing in foreign real estate, or what I call an offshore dirt bank. We've done this as well, and it was the best decision ever. Using this strategy, we used our small, sad, slow-growing retirement nest egg and turned it into a multiple six-figure a year cash flowing asset and 10x our net worth. There's an entire chapter on the subject in my book. I'll say no more. Okay, we're coming to the end, so down to the last E in our secure tips, back to more wise words from one of the richest men in the world. You may not know this, but Warren Buffett still works in his 90s, and he donates billions to charity. Studies show that the happiest people on planet Earth are the ones living a life of service. He works because he wants to, not because he has to. If you need income in the next chapter of your life, there are endless options for work you can do to bring you both income and joy. We're not talking drudgery work here. Just because you can do something doesn't mean it's work you should do. If it doesn't bring you joy, why do it? I was an outstanding contracts attorney, but sitting behind a desk 8, 10, 12 hours a day, pumping out legal documents was miserable. I found work that was a better fit with my personality and values, and more lucrative. Another E related to work you might consider is entrepreneurship. There's never been a better time to work for yourself, whether it's freelancing, a side gig, or selling your expertise online. Remote income opportunities are abundant and provide the freedom to work anywhere in the world. If, like Warren Buffett, you're all set financially, work enhances your life and will actually help you live longer. Either way, fun work that pays you in joy, happiness, and income if you need it leads to living your best life and your true potential and a secure retirement. Bye for now, and always dream big and act on it daily.